The Matrix. Our social and economical structure. The true nurturers of our current world, with social science playing the role of our social mother, guiding our mind and thoughts to create the actions that facilitate the needs of our social father, the economy. With one supporting the other to raise us, the key component that holds the entire operation in place. It's the organisation within these two areas that keeps the system of control ticking. But for us to truly understand how this works, we need to start from the beginning. So what better place to begin than from the purpose of its creation, a self-benefiting purpose by those in control that stemmed the idea for organised human activity. A system that made humanity the consumer, creator, and provider of its own reality. Imagine a self-contained system that can always be brought back to balance, as the provider is also the consumer, a perfect system of control. The argument: if we want to evolve, we need a system of organisation in place for us to do so. True. And this would work if the intention were based on evolving equally whilst respecting the earth, its resources, and all creations within it. But there is one factor that takes all possibilities of this being a positive system away: the creation of money. And with money having no direct role in the system other than a mechanism of exchange, it's here where wealth is created, as it's those who have control over the movement of money that decides the value of the exchange. So this is where we are surviving, in between the moving variables of money that are constantly changing, as the value of money we earn is much lower than the value of money when it's spent, making it harder to create stability or move our focus away to address a human issue of our time. So, who has control over the movement and value of money? Corporations and governments. As they are the mediator and decision makers within their own field, they decide the value of the exchange on the way in and on the way out. And we can see examples of this globally. In the developed worlds, our average yearly salary is substantially lower than the cost of living, with developing worlds struggling even more. So if the system holds back our potential, then where is it? Here. We need to remember that money and the economy are both man-made ideas. Our potential exists way past the ideas of one another. There is a higher system at play that created the human body, animals, nature, and all that we can see. So for us to live by a small group's version of reality is limiting to our potential and our capabilities. And if this version of reality is based on the purposes of wealth and a man-made mechanism of exchange, then what could we create if money didn't exist and the purpose were for the benefit of all? So this is our global economy and reality. The management of human activity through our work, how much we earn and how much we spend as individuals and businesses, whilst large corporations and governments profit from the value of the exchange that happens in between. Capitalism. Now for social science. A branch of science devoted to examining the relationship between individuals and societies, as well as the development and operation of societies. Rather than studying the physical world, these academic disciplines rely more heavily on interpretation and qualitative research methodologies. So, in all, social science examines us and through qualitative research learns to understand our beliefs, motivations and perception between one another, groups and the system. With 22 areas of study falling under the umbrella of social science, let's focus on the main topics, the disciplines. Anthropology, the study of what makes us human and the many different aspects of the human experience. Archaeology, the study of human activity through the recovery and analysis of material culture. Economics, the study of scarcity and its implications for the use of resources, production of goods and services. Geography, the study of places and the relationships between people and their environments. History, the study of our past. Law, the study of the rules created and enforced through social or governmental institutions to regulate behaviour. Linguistics, the scientific study of language. Political science, the scientific study of politics. Psychology, the scientific study of how people's thoughts, feelings, beliefs, intentions, and goals are constructed within a social context by the actual or imagined interactions with others. Sociology, a study that focuses on society, human social behaviour, patterns of social relationships, social interactions, and aspects of culture associated with everyday life. With 22 areas devoted to the human experience, how we move between our consciousness and actions, past and present, is it naive of us to believe the system is unaware to the cause and cure of our global social injustices? And if the studies are primarily on how we think and the actions we've made from those thoughts, then the system must also know the full potential of the human structure and the power of our consciousness. It's those who major in the social science disciplines that go into careers that provide insight into the different ways individuals, groups, and institutions make decisions, exercise power, and respond to change. And with social science majors predominantly working for educational institutions, government agencies, corporations, and non-profits, it's the higher tiers of our societal structure that use this information to navigate the development and continuation of their purpose. So, how do we know their purpose? By looking at the core functions of the establishments. Government, leadership, maintain order, public services, national security, economic security, and economic assistance. Educational institutions, socialization, social integration, social placement, social and cultural innovation. Government agencies, regulate the industries and practices in all fields within the social structure. Corporations, to conduct lawful, ethical, profitable, and sustainable business in order to ensure success and growth long term. Non-profits, to generate revenue and raise awareness. So this is the current governing structure of humanity. Social science analyses our human behaviour, provides the information to corporations, governments, education, and non-profits. The establishments use this information to navigate our behaviours towards their purpose through mass communication and the physical representation of these establishments, media, schools, police, the list goes on. It's the combination of the messaging and physical representations that stimulate our beliefs to see, abide, and normalise this way of living for ourselves, as it's only through normalisation that our indefinite physical contribution can be assured, making it possible for our actions to be monitored whilst we stay stuck in survival mode, internalising the emotional effects whilst experiencing the social injustices that are relevant to our personal and social identity. It's the lack of understanding we have for our own consciousness that allows this way of living to exist. Humanity, we are unconscious right now, and continuing to live this way will be at the detriment to our own existence. Waiting for a system to rewrite its own design and intention is unfortunately unrealistic. Our world needs change now, a change that can only be achieved by all of us, and a change that begins with us understanding who we are in our entirety. It begins with understanding consciousness. This is Decoding Humanity with Vanessa Nash.